Hello everyone, Sara Bierman here, Business Agility Coach for AgileDad, and it's time for today's episode of the Daily Stand-Up. Let's get started. Last week I discussed focus, the first of 5 Scrum values, or FORCE, an AgileDad acronym, and today I will continue with the second letter O for openness. Openness, like the other values, work together to ensure success of the team. There are many different interpretations of what openness means, but to me it's all about how team members interact. The Agile Manifesto places high value on individuals and interactions. To see your team as individuals, you need to have positive working relationships that are not purely transactional. Especially while many of us are still working remotely, treating each other as human beings should be priority one. Abraham Maslow identified the basic human need to feel safe before any higher needs can be addressed. To provide a safe environment for your team's foundation, I suggest modeling good interpersonal skills. There are many books or tools to help you improve your relationships, but the one I always recommend was required reading from my dad when I was in high school. The 4 Agreements, A Practical Guide to Personal Freedom by Don Miguel Ruiz is based on ancient Toltec wisdom that advocates freedom from self-limiting beliefs. I have found that by adhering to these agreements, I have greatly improved my relationships, especially at work from people with various backgrounds. The first agreement, be impeccable with your word, basically means to only say what you mean. Speak with integrity. Avoid gossip and sarcasm. There is power in your words, and you can avoid harm to yourself and others with this agreement. The second agreement, don't take anything personal, is harder than it sounds. We all live in a story centered around ourselves and need reminders that not everything is about us. This wisdom reminds us that nothing others do is about you. What people do or say is a projection of their own reality. Becoming immune to the opinions and actions of others is extremely liberating. I call it a separation of the ego, which helps you find your true self. This helps you avoid fear and judgment, which will lead to better relationships with your team and yourself. The third agreement, don't make assumptions, is about having courage to ask questions and express what you really want. Not making assumptions in Scrum or Agile is paramount. Part of story mapping, or breaking down bigger problems into smaller ones, requires identifying, documenting, and testing assumptions. When teams don't do this, it almost always leads to defects, delays, or disjunction. This goes along with the first agreement of communicating clearly and honestly to avoid misunderstandings. This one agreement can be the most powerful and easiest to implement in your work and personal lives. The fourth agreement, always do your best, is about doing the next right thing, as your best may change from moment to moment based on the information you have at the time. It does not mean to strive for perfection, but progress. As a former perfectionist paralyzed by fear of doing something to be judged by others, focusing on progress and doing my best has helped me avoid self-judgment and regret. I am extremely thankful for learning these agreements at a young age and having decades to practice them. If they are new to you, I highly recommend reading this short 160-page book. No matter if you work in Agile or a Scrum environment, they will be beneficial to your personal and professional development. Happy Wednesday. I hope you find more ways to be open and promote openness in your life this week. Remember to stay focused, keep it simple, and you will be successful.